Hey everybody! Hey everybody! Hold on a second. I see Penn says he's in backstage. Penn, you might want to check that link because I don't see you backstage. Are you backstage of some other show? I will send it again. Okay, I sent that again to you, Penn. Let me know if it shows up. And I'm waiting on. We're waiting on Alban, who his computer just had an update, and so he had to jump off because it was forcing him into an update. So he should be back in a second. And Blue is feeling under the weather. So first show back, wheels are falling off our wagon. But you know what? We're gonna move forward.
You got the B team.
Yeah, we got the. No, I don't. This is the A team. We got all A teamers. It's all A team. So. I want to say, how are you doing, Andrew?
I'm good, my friend.
Good?
Yep, that's about it. Good. And still lockdown, so not much going on. Work, home.
Hey,
Yeah.
what's up, Eric?
Hey, Penn, how are you doing? Is your speakers working, Penn? You're breaking up there, bud.
Can you hear me, guys?
I hear you. Well, I hear you, Eddie. I hear Eddie. I heard Penn.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Okay, yeah. How are you doing, Eddie? I think everyone can hear me.
Not too bad yourself.
I'm doing well. I'm a married
Gavin,
man now.
Yeah, that's the one thing you didn't show on streaming matters. Nice.
And you can see it's got like a little blue. It's got two little blue bands in it.
Is blues the same?
No.
Huh?
No.
Right.
No.
Now stand up and show with the ball and chain.
No, I can't get up. It's too heavy. The ball and chain's on me. It's such a heavy thing. So, yeah. But thanks everybody. We had a great time. She was here for 21 days, and now she's in lockdown, which I think she's only got 1 or 2 more days of lockdown, and then she can go back to work and leave her house. But Canada's not playing. Canada doesn't play. They gave she had to install an app on her phone that checks where you're at, and then it every day it checks you in and make sure that you haven't went anywhere. Then they call your house on your house phone.
Yeah.
We've got an app as well. And
We got it too. Well, the one you're talking about, Dabs, is all over Canada.
In America, you can't do that in America.
Yeah,
It like uses
you want to put it on.
uses Bluetooth and like it tells you if you've been in. It gives you like a notification to say you've been in contact with someone who's had it, but it could be someone just walking past your house and it'll pop up a notification. Yeah, I think you've got to be like a certain distance away from someone who's like entered details to say they've been. It's not 100% by any means, so yeah, well, it is what it is.
Yeah, they try to. I guess they're trying to make sure to be careful.
Patty G, still a good idea. So
yeah. Happy to see Patty D's over in the side chat. Octavia, thanks for joining us, hon. I saw Rojas and his guys all come rolling in here. Paper plate. We got Charles downstairs. He's actually going to jump in on. Says he's going to jump in. Shrinkin' Sharon, how you doing? Roger. So we've got all the gang that's normally here. Thanks you guys for joining in and watching. I hope that everybody had a good hiatus, because we had a nice hiatus and just a matter of getting back into this.
Yeah, we're in a lockdown and a curfew at the same time.
Well, yeah, we're having we have a curfew too.
Oh yeah, what from what time to what time?
10 o'clock at night till 6 in the morning.
No, ours is 8 till 5 in the morning.
Yeah, so but it is what it is. We'll make the best of it. Hey, it's a new day. Every day we get a new chance to do the right things or screw up. We do one or the other. So hopefully Alban's laptop gets updated soon, and he pops back in here. And we're gonna go ahead and get cranked up. You guys ready to get started? Let's start knocking out some movies. Because we got 2 movies this week, which was Bullitt and Inside Man. And Eddie, you were Bullitt, and Penn, you were Inside Man. Either one of you guys want to be? Anybody wants to be a first movie?
I don't care.
It doesn't matter.
All right. All right. Well, we'll go. I got Bullitt written at the top of my list, so we'll start with that one. Okay. So let's see here. Let's go ahead and share the screen. Let me. And since again, since this is Eddie's movie, you get to be the first person to rate it, discuss it, talk about it, or you can be the second or the last person. It's your choice. Which one do you want to do, Eddie?
I'm going to be last.
I want to be last. Okay. Andrew, do you want to be first, or who? Anybody? I don't. I try not to. I don't want to be bullying.
Yeah, no, sure. I'll go. I never go first, so I suppose I'll go first. It's probably not going to be a massively long review because I've actually only watched both movies today. So, like, I know we've had like a month to watch them, but I've only watched both of them today. I did watch this one first because I've seen Inside Man before, so I thought I better watch this one first. And I was standing. It was funny because I was standing doing the dishes, and I had this on in the corner, and I'm sitting watching it, and the opening credits is, and I was just thinking to myself, I feel like I'm way too young to be watching this because it just seems like such an old person's movie, like the way
Old persons.
the style. Obviously it's from the '60s, isn't it? It was like this. It's like the saxophone music and the it's really like old timey shot sequences, but like the opening credits is like it. I don't know. I found it a bit weird. Like the text was all over. There was a scene going on in the background, but then the text was over here, and then the text was over there. I guess they was trying to just use the text as like a cover, so you could see it was trying to show you one certain part of whatever was happening. But I was like a bit for like probably the first half hour I was like confused as to what the hell was going on. I couldn't really get in. I couldn't really get into what was happening in the story, and obviously I just thought to myself, well, I'll just give it a chance, and I'm sure it'll click as we go into it, which it did. But I just couldn't get away with like the I just kept thinking to myself, I just feel like this is like a generational thing. I couldn't get into it. I understood, like I got the story they were telling, and the acting was good, and obviously I knew about the famous like car chase scene, which by the way was definitely 100% the best part of the whole movie. I loved the way that was shot. And obviously it was groundbreaking, wasn't it? Kind of set the tone for what we've got today. But I think obviously the stuff, the amount of movies that do that kind of stuff now, you've got more resources to shoot better shots and make it look better than what it was then. So to me, someone like me who hasn't seen the way stuff was shot back in the '60s. It obviously wasn't. I mean, it was still good, but it wasn't like I wasn't like, "Whoa, this is groundbreaking. This is like obviously great stuff." I just thought, I like the way it's shot. It still seems different from what they do today, because like you've got like the inside the car shot. It's like it just feels like what came to mind was, do you know when you go to these theme parks and you go into there was virtual reality shuttle things, and either you're on a roller coaster or something like that, and it feels like you're on. That's the way the shot was. It just like felt like you were sitting in the back seat as he was chasing this car, which I just had a little snicker at that, like, because that's just the first thing that popped into my head. I felt like I was just sitting in a simulator behind it. But I still found it really, really good, that scene, and also the foot chase in the airport. I was kind of laughing at as well, because I just thought to myself, this is like the quietest foot chase in the history of movies, because there was no like usually when there's like a chase like that in a movie these days, they've got some sort of musical score playing in the background. Where this wasn't. It was just you could just hear the planes landing and the feet like as they were running, like as he was running after him. And it was just like just seemed so quiet. So I just I found it funny, like how different it was compared to the way movies are made today. I don't know. I don't know if I've got much more to say on it. I like the story. Yeah, it was okay. It was like cop that he's hired to protect a witness, and then the witness is shot. Which, by the way, these guys, what was that shotgun they used?
I don't know. It looked like a
Like,
sawed-off 12 gauge to me.
It was like a
12 gauge.
like a something Western. I know it was like Western or
Smith
something.
and West,
Wasn't a Smith
Winchester.
and Wesson? Was it
Winchester? Maybe.
Whatever it was, it must have been either they were the worst shot ever, or it's the shittest shotgun ever. Because this guy, he gets shot in the fucking chest and he doesn't instantly die. He's been shot in the chest from a shotgun, like not very far range, from like a meter away or something. And how does he not die straight away? Like, it's a shotgun, for God's sake. It's supposed to do maximum damage from that range. So that was a little bit unrealistic. I mean, I've never shot one of those shotguns or any gun in particular, so I wouldn't know. But I just assume.
Yeah, there was no reloading and to finish the guy off or nothing. It was like one shot, then he just leaves. Doesn't make sure the guy's dead or nothing. Just, hey, I did what I need. I got paid to come here and shoot 2 times, so now it's time to leave.
And like the guy rings the room and he's like, oh, who is it? And he's like, oh, it's a guy called Chalmers.
Yeah, wasn't it the senator or governor, whatever it is?
He was running for office. I know that. He's like Chalmers or something, and he's like, all right, and he's with somebody else. He's like, oh, who? He went, oh, it's Chalmers and just some other guy. I was like, right, okay, just some other guy. This is a guy that's a witness, and he's like being hidden in witness protection, and like, oh, who is it? It's someone you know, but then some other guy who doesn't want to give his name. Oh yeah, send them up, send them straight up. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah.
And the guy goes over and he unlocks the door. Like, I'm sure everything's gonna work out fine here, but obviously the game in with a BB gun or whatever it was, that went down. So that, like, there was just some stuff that I found, like, obviously I'm just thinking to myself, that's like not as realistic as what it should be, and it just made us chuckle a bit. But I wouldn't say it was a bad movie by any means. I just thought the only way I can describe it is like it was too old of a movie for me.
It's too dated for you.
Too dated. Yeah, I couldn't I wasn't enthralled by it, and I couldn't get into it. It's probably not something I'll watch again.
Okay.
But I did love the car chase scene. That definitely was one of the better ones I've seen. Like I say, I like the way it was shot.
Mm-hmm.
It was shot better than the guy who shot the shotgun. And yeah, that's my review of that. Bullet.
All right. So what Penn? What did you think?
Yes. First, can everybody hear me?
Yep. Yeah. Your microphone's a little bit clicky, but I hear it now.
Is it clicky now?
What? No.
Okay,
It's sounding good now.
All right. So, going off of what Andrew said, the film was definitely it definitely had, well, it's 1968 crime mystery film, but it definitely had that old school taste to it, which nowadays some people will appreciate, some won't. I think I couldn't get the most out of the film because of the style and the story, but I do have some key highlights to touch on here. So,
okay. Yeah.
The story starts off with, the first 11 minutes of the movie. Generally, they introduce Ross, Bullitt, the Getty, and Mr. Chalmers. So, Mr. Chalmers, the main antagonist, when he's introduced, they call him to the venture, and they put Bullitt in charge of directly protecting Ross from the mafia, one of the antagonists in the film. So, what I noticed, immediately after Ross gets shot, Bullitt doesn't trust Chalmers anymore at all. You're seeing his whole attitude change, and he's questioning, okay, what's right to do. Every interaction with him is either dismissing Chalmers, keeping him at arm's distance, and he's simply telling him, hey, well, pretty much doesn't like you. Pretty much saying, hey, you did something and I don't like it. And immediately Chalmers became the second antagonist of the film. Yeah. Now, the story is, it's not a amazing story in the sense of, hey, well, they have a protagonist and antagonist, but what the film highlights to me is the cinematography and the chase. I think it set the standard for car chases, really for modern car chases in films today, because what it highlights is that Bullet whips around the hills of San Francisco in his Highland Green 1968 Ford Mustang. I did a little bit of research on it, and he's hitting every turn perfectly. And this is a whole 10-minute scene. So I'm watching this. I'm like, okay, so I'm seeing like the camera, the way it's following, and it became one of the biggest scenes in the movie because generally speaking, from way back then, we're not used to seeing that high level of detail. Especially when it comes to certain things. And I have to say, like, the movie did highlight certain cinematography after the car chase scene. Uh, there was an ending scene at the airport that I liked as well, where Bullock could actually use his gun, and something that you would typically expect, but the way in the end the character was shot up, you saw all the bullets go through him. Like, man, like it really sold the scene. And back then they didn't have a bunch of flashy or CGI. They had to like really pull things off. So I think this movie was great in terms of its design and set design. The story, I really couldn't get too much into the story, quite honest. I know that there was a little bit of romance in the film. That Bullet, he had he had like a girlfriend. All the time. And that was, I guess that was
That
pretty
was
cool
Jacqueline
there.
Bisset, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, well, had a girlfriend, whatever. But, I think the cinematography was just spot on, and the acting was nice. The hotel scene towards the beginning of the film where they, with the shoddy and saw all the blood and spatter on the wall. I thought that was a great attention to detail. So overall, I would say it's a decent watch. Would I watch it again? Probably for the car chase scene in certain spots, but can I recommend it fully? Not really. I guess if you want to study certain key scenes, sure.
All right. Alban, you back?
Yes, I am. I'm so sorry.
Welcome.
My machine did this to me. I don't even know what update it was that it put on there, but it was a long one. I never have issues like that. Um, I missed you guys in the chat and here in the panel, and that's about it. Are you? I was watching you guys on the TV anyhow while my machine was rebooting, screaming at my machine to hurry up. Because it was like one of those updates where it does the update and then it says okay, it restarts the machine and then it updates some other file and then it just says it just basically goes back and says, oh well, no, I'm only 30% done. Like, you gotta be kidding me.
So hey, Alban, so what'd you think of the movie? What'd you think of this movie?
Okay, first to say for Andrew, because I was watching you, and you were talking about the credits, because I thought the same thing, and it was just like what, I had to think back, and I said, hold on, it was a '68. They had some real drugs back then. You know what I mean? Yeah, because they used to come up with all kinds of crazy things. Like overlaying things on top of each other. Because guess everyone who had too many mushrooms back then. But I like the movie, but I understand what you guys are saying about it being dated. It's been a long time because you take the car chase. It's like that's just a Sunday ride for me nowadays on my motorcycle. Really, and then when you watch there was this. It just drove me crazy because there was this. They're doing the car chase, and there was this one spot where there was this Volkswagen, and you just keep seeing them replay the same shot, and it was like driving me crazy. You know,
Yeah.
it's like why not do it down the street where there's nobody else? What else? It was funny. I heard you guys talking about rotary phones. You
Mhm.
know, Andrew, do you know what rotary phones are? You know, I don't know if you've ever.
That's the one
seen
where
them.
you stick your finger in the little.
Yeah, you
Oh,
stick your
man.
finger in it. Yep.
your
One
dial-up
ring a
one.
dingy dingy.
One ring a
ring.
dingy. Yep.
And also, was that a fax machine they were using in the?
Yes. Don't you love that fax? It was like 80,
Oh,
80
It was
yeah.
like
pounds.
got to be
Yeah.
one of the first ever fax machines made, surely.
Listen, hey, I had a modular, modem back then. You know, that was the best. Dad, did you have one of them?
No,
The modems that you had to take the phone and put it on it.
no, I did. Mine
You didn't have one of them?
at work we did. At work
Oh.
we had it where you set the little cup on it on the phone
Yeah.
It
for
had a
transmitting
little
orders.
handle on it, and you had to wind the handle to power it up.
No,
It was like 300 board. Oh, those were the days.
I don't know about that.
Yeah. No, listen, we had to start somewhere, right?
Yeah, you're right.
You
You're
know,
right.
and we got to watch things grow. No one else will. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How about the nurses in the movie? Seeing how the nurses acted back then.
Mhm.
It was so different. The movie brought me back. Because it's like even when it was strange though. There was that one scene in the airport when they go in the airport, and normally I remember uh, that like in the 70s, even there, like, airport was nothing because everyone was smoking on the plane. So I thought it was when the announcer in the airport goes, "Oh,
Yeah.
the plane is boarding. Put out your cigarettes." And I'm like, "What?"
Yeah. Well, put out your
that's
cigarettes as you were bored in the plane. You could
as you're
still light
boarding,
up once you
and
get
then
off
you light up when
the
you get
ground.
the plane.
Yeah, once you got taken off
Yeah.
the ground, you could light up.
Yeah.
Hey, but sorry to interrupt right quick.
Yeah.
I just got a message saying, could you please remove the banner below so people can see Alvin when he's
Oh,
speaking?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, yeah.
So yeah, I didn't want to interrupt at first,
Yeah.
guys.
No,
But that-
no,
yeah.
you're right.
Hey, there he is. Alvin's there.
The wife's not
All
here
right,
to tell
hey,
him.
hey. So now y'all see him.
Yeah, sorry.
The cast, Vic Tayback, I miss him every time I see him in something. I miss him because I was a big fan of Alice, the sitcom from the what was the 80s. But all in all, like I said, the movie brought me back, but I don't think that I really watch it again. Although there is a thing that I want to watch called Chasing Bullet that just came out. Well, not recently, but it came out like in I think 98. No, maybe even later than that. I don't know the year. I don't know if it was 2018. But what it is called Chasing Bullet, and I guess that they went back looking for the car recently. So if anyone wants to take a look at it, they can look at it also. But I already have it on my Plex. That's about it. All you now, Dad.
Okay. Yes, it's dated, and I was born in '67, so this is not completely out of my realm to seeing movies film like this. But it was, to cut to the chase, this was a struggle for me to get through. I struggled to get through this movie. Other than the car chase, which was okay, I do think that there was some groundbreaking things of like with the camera in the car. I did think that was kind of neat in the way that they had it mounted to where that the camera didn't really didn't move.
Yeah.
The car jumped, and it was an actual car going over these hills, which I thought was very good. You could tell that it said in here that they did have some stunt drivers, but it looked like there was some people not so good of stunt drivers driving some of those cars. They were oversteering. I don't think they knew what the brakes were at times. They're braking early so you can gas coming off of it. That was bugging me. The storyline of the movie, I struggled because the storyline was it just was not there. I was confused through about 80% of this movie about what the hell was going on, and what they were doing and why they were doing it. I did like the throwback stuff where people were talking about the rotary phone, the when he gets on the phone and checks about the airlines and where you could just walk and get on the airplanes, all the kind of stuff that was very common back then. That was unique. I did like that the cars, when they were going over the hills, that they were actually the real car, because did you notice the Charger's engine is bigger than the Mustang's? Did you notice that when they would go over those humps, the nose of the car would just dive down because it's too heavy? Mustang, of course, it was heavy, but it was more of you didn't have as hard of a dump, which I kind of liked that because it looked more realistic. The two guys driving the Charger, oh my, were they alive? Was anybody checking their pulse? Because those two guys that were these two, I don't know if they even knew they were in a car chase. Other than when the guy driving, like, just slowly reaches over, puts the lap belt on, tightens it, and he starts driving fast. They never changed this look the whole car chase. I'm thinking, you would be kind of pumped up.
He's ramming his car into the side, and the guy's just like, I'm going to be late for work. Oh.
Yeah, there was no emotion from either one of these two, and I'm thinking, you're going to be jostled around, and you're going to be like, hurry it up or something. Not a word. They said nothing the whole car chase, which I found disturbing but funny, because I was like, this don't fit. This doesn't feel right. So that kind of threw me off. I did like seeing Mr. Roper, and someone mentioned that in the chat. If you guys remember Three's Company, he was Mr. Roper. He was the chief of police or something like that. It was neat to see him. I thought that Jacqueline Bisset was pretty. I didn't understand their whole love story, and then she tells him that thing at the lake. Why she said that? You're so cold. Well, he's a cop. What does he expect? He's supposed to be cold. I don't even know you. I'm thinking, where does this fit into the whole story? So there was bits and pieces like put together that didn't seem to fit. I was completely confused. Not at least for 80% of the movie. In the airport. Okay. So when they get to the airport, and the guy gets out of the plane, jumps out of the plane, and he's running across the tarmac. He runs across the tarmac to hide in the bushes, which he could have hidden in the bushes and not done nothing. But no, he's got to take a pop shot at Steve McQueen, so Steve McQueen knows he's there. They run all the way out there to run all the way back. I was like, what was that? I mean, all the way there to come back? I didn't get that. The movie, to be honest, was a struggle. I was struggling to get through. I did that 60s, that late 60s, early 70s sound and that vibe. Sure, that was all over this. That was interesting. But the storyline, it was a struggle. And I'm thinking, please, Lordy, help me with this. I don't know why. Other than the car chase, the rest of the movie, I other than nostalgia for the stuff that you see commonplace then is completely foreign now, like the airports and smoking and, like Alban said, different things like that we don't see that now. That was interesting for me watching an older movie. But cinematography, other than the shooting of the car chase, I thought that was. But then, all right, so then I got the car chase. We go through all car chase, right? They're bumping, running into it, driving. to only smash into a gas station and the guys blow up on fire.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
And that's
I mean, just crash into into a gas station and blow up. That's it. That's all done. I'm thinking, I don't know. I think that the director he's like, all right, we're going to go through all this car chase. What are we going to do? And they're all like, I don't know. What do you want to do? We've spent all this time with the car chase. We're running out of money. We need to hurry this up. Let's just run him into a gas station and blow him up and it's done. Oh, okay. There you go. That was, that was to me a little bit funky. And then he kind of crashes his car like on the ditch, which again, what did that mean? Something where the car was like halfway in the ditch and not in the ditch? And the suspensions of those vehicles would have been tore up. Because I will say that the suspension after about the third or fourth hill would have not, those cars would have been, the suspension would have been going crazy. So, but definitely a movie that you've heard about and interesting to watch. Okay, so I'm sorry, Eddie, but that's my thoughts.
I just want to shout out to Redneck. You know, today he put out there, today we call it NASCAR. I can't stop laughing.
Yeah, Rubbin's racing. There was some Rubbin. So, but go ahead, Eddie.
Okay, I think this movie's going to date me a little bit because I saw this movie when it came out. The reason why I saw this movie because I used to hang around with a bunch of guys that had, Camaros, Firebirds. I think one of my friends had a Charger similar to that one. I'm not sure, but that Mustang really got me. But the film itself, okay, I agree with you. The story was like misleading in many ways, but all in all, the only thing that really knocked me out was Steve McQueen. I like Steve McQueen because he has that little smirk on his face. It's like, somebody, either you're going to hit him up or what, to make him smile, but he never smiles, okay? And he's always, his eyes are like running all over the place, looking, he's observing everything. And then, when he makes a move, it's a move that he's already calculated in his head. That's the way I look at it, okay? I'm not sure that some of those car scenes, the chase scenes were done by himself. He made some of those scenes himself.
So it said that he did some, but then there was some stunt drivers that did it.
Yeah.
He said he did do the backing up where he actually it said Steve McQueen mistakenly missed the turn. The turn where he hits that car.
Right.
It said that he actually did that because he, again, going into the corner too hot, probably late on the brakes, car pushed right into the corner. So.
But
NASCAR terms for you NASCAR folks. Push.
Yeah, but Robert Vaughn, I really liked him in this film because Robert Vaughn is like he's a classic. He's a classic in his style. But the two of them together made an excellent film. The airport section I liked, but the airport section when he jumps out the back of a Boeing 707, he could have broke his two legs.
Yeah, that's pretty high.
That is high.
Yeah.
Those planes, those were big mothers. But, and when running around in the airport, I remember in the airports in those days it was hectic getting onto a plane. Because I remember I got onto a Boeing 707 the first time I returned to England after I left. And that was a big plane. I'm just saying, these guys are running around. They're running. Well, as a matter of fact, I think it was Steve McQueen. He run real close to one of the engines. And I'm saying, how come that engine didn't suck him in?
Suck him up. Yep.
Yeah. And then after, the plane goes over him, and he's still on the ground. But then he doesn't get the effect of the flow of the air after the plane has gone by. He just gets up, and even his hair didn't even move. But when he took the shot in the airport, that was one shot, bang, finished. And that's the only time you saw him with a gun. But all in all, bring it back today. There was no cell phones. There was, the fax machine. I used to see those where they did, to put the phone on, the fax machine. rotary dial phones. I remember those.
Mm-hmm.
You missed a number. You had to start all over again.
Or if your finger if you did it and your finger slipped out before you went on, you're like, did I do all the way to the 9 or did my finger slip out and it's gonna be an 8? Let me try it again.
Yeah, but the rotary phones, the ones that were on the desk were not too bad. It's the one that had it was stuck on the wall.
Yeah, if you only end up going halfway with the turn, and then you're like, oh damn, you got to go all over again.
Yeah, but and I'm just saying that for me, that's a classic movie for me. Steve McQueen, he made my day on that movie. But like I say, I like Steve McQueen because of his smirk on his face. You're always going to wonder when somebody's going to try to take that smirk off his little face. He his lips are so tight, and his eyes are piercing. Yeah. But all in all, I like the movie.
Hey, I got a question. Where did remember these glasses back in the 70s where everyone had those tinted things? Mm-hmm. What was wrong with their eyes that you don't see no tinted glasses like that? My uncle had glasses with that tint.
What do you mean?
They were prescription glasses.
No, they're not.
My uncle had some that were tinted just like that. Those weren't. He wore them all the time, like day in, day out. You know how they had that yellow tint? Right. You don't see people with those anymore.
Yeah, but they're to reflect the sun, I think.
Yeah, they're great for the sun, and especially at night too.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right. Okay. All right. So we got that. So we got everyone spoke on this. We're going to jump over here to Inside Man real quick so that we can open up the links. I'm going to send the links out. So I know Charles wanted to jump in on this one. So we will post the links to this. We're going to jump into Inside Man. We'll talk about that. Then I will post the link for anybody that wants to jump in on the panel to discuss what they thought of either of the two movies. So let me go ahead and close this one. And let's see. So this movie is Inside Man, 2006. And it's got Denzel Washington, which we've seen numerous movies with Denzel Washington. And this was done by Penn. Chose this one. Penn, do you want to be first or last on this, bud?
I'll go last on this one.
Okay. Excuse me. Anybody that wants to be first, or
I don't mind. You guys.
Okay.
We're struggling before. Inside Man. Great movie. Thanks, Penn. Haven't seen this movie in a while, but anything with Denzel is always great. I can't even think of really of a bad movie. Can anyone think of a bad movie for Denzel? He normally doesn't, pick bad ones. Where to begin? I like the movie and all, but when I watch movies about stuff that's here in New York, and it's just like whether it be a car chase or whatever, or, but they're downtown Manhattan and there's no traffic. I hate when they do that in movies. You have no idea how frustrating that is to watch. Especially because I know what they go through to close down those streets when they're they're filming. Oh, that's just so annoying. It was there was one thing I'm trying to remember when that was in the movie. After they shot on the second floor. I wrote down something here that they did some type of effect that normally Spike Lee always does, and he did it at just the same way. How, if anyone has seen the Mo Better Blues with Denzel, and they did the same effect, and it was just like I thought it was kind of funny that they did that. I'm trying. When they shot someone up on the second floor, and they did that crazy effect with the camera. I can't remember.
Oh, that
right
looked like they were like looking through a telescope, because that was when
Right.
they shot that person with a bag on their head, or
Right,
white bag.
right. Yeah, but it was the same exact effect that was in Mo Better Blues with Denzel in it. Corrupt Cop. Keep. Oh, now the whole movie. We see that Denzel may have been. They thought he was a person that might have stole already, and he was corrupt and all that.
Yeah, some
And
money might have disappeared.
right, some money might have disappeared. And we watched the whole movie, and okay, so somebody slips a diamond in his pocket, but he doesn't say anything about it. At the end of the movie, you know, I just thought that was kind of strange, because wouldn't that somehow come back to him? Because he's not just going to cut that diamond and give this girl a ring with that whole diamond in it.
Should
It was
have.
a big diamond. No, that was a big diamond.
It was, but he loved her. He should have gave it to her.
Listen, that was no 3-carat diamond. Okay, you know what I'm saying. What else do I have here? I wrote this so long ago. I watched both of my movies. I did my homework back after our last show. Okay, so I can't even read half of my stuff here. But all in all, I liked the movie. I thought it was great on how they did how they did this, to go in and let them think that they stole everything. Meanwhile, build a false wall, and he hid out in there, and to not take anything else. I thought that was, brilliant. Although who could have really, thought about leaving all that money, because they were sitting. Him and the kid was in the vault on top of all that money. It was just like, oh, geez.
Using his chairs.
Another thing I gotta say, I'm sorry I didn't mention her name, is Jodie Foster. Love her to death. She is such an incredible actress. I always have to, give my props to her. But okay, next. That's all I gotta say.
All right. Eddie, you want to go next?
Yeah.
Okay.
Before I start off, there was three items in there that I didn't understand. First of all, how did he get out? How did they know how many suits to take into that bank to give all the people that were in there? There was, because everybody had one.
Mm-hmm.
So
and the right size.
And the right size. Okay, that's one. The other one, when he was digging in the storage room, and he digged up like I do 2 pipes and 2 pipes and a thing. I thought that was for when he built the wall where he had to stay in before, either to give him water. He needed water by the time he was in there, and the other one maybe was the source where you can go have a shit. I don't know. And the third one is Jodie Foster at the end, Denzel Washington. He says, well, keep the pen. Was that the pen that had the microphone, was good to transmit? That's what I thought.
Because that's what she said. You already got a copy of it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I understood it.
Okay. This is a movie that first time I ever seen Denzel Washington with a real tight shave.
Mm-hmm.
Never seen him like that before. I love the style, but what gets me is every time. Well, I noticed it more in this movie than I did it in a few other movies with Denzel Washington. He has a gait. You know what a gape is?
Yeah.
A gape, the way he walks, okay? But the way he walks reminds me always of Malcolm X. When I see him walking like that, that's Malcolm X. And there was another item, like you said, Alvin, there was another item that was taken in another movie by Spike Lee.
Mm-hmm.
Denzel Washington is talking and he says, don't bullshit a bullshitter, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But if you go to Malcolm X, that bothered me for a while, and I have to go back. I said, I've seen it before. So I went to Malcolm X, and I saw this before Malcolm X became Malcolm X. He was Malcolm Little. And he said, don't bullshit a West Indian bullshitter.
Mm-hmm.
So that brought me back, another one to Spike Lee.
Yeah.
But all in all, the movie was tight. I'm saying, beside those three items I had my doubts about, that this is an excellent movie. That I personally, I don't see how I miss this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Because I usually, when I see a Denzel Washington movie, I jump on it right away.
Oh.
But this was the diamond in the pocket. When he bumped into when he's walking out of the bank with the bags, and he bumps into Denzel Washington, that's when he must have slipped the diamond in his pocket.
Right.
Saying, in other words, you just missed me, just to let him know that you missed me.
Right.
Well, my thinking was
but
so
a real
that he was.
cop. But
I
a
was
real
thinking
cop-
so
I'm
he's
sorry.
carrying that diamond around with him as he's walking through the bank. You know what I mean?
No,
He's
but
just got to hold his hand. To,
what I'm getting at is, a real cop would have said, "Oh, wait, the guy is still out there somewhere. The guy was in the bank." They would have went back and reviewed the footage of the bank. You know what I
Right.
mean? Not say, "Oh, well, I'm going to keep the diamond." Okay, yeah, you're corrupt.
No, but Penn, that was an excellent movie. I
Yeah.
really appreciated that movie. Love it.
Thank you.
all right, Andrew, go ahead.
Sorry, I was muted. Yeah, God, pretty much everything's been said. I was just thinking, as Eddie was talking there, I was just trying to think as why some of the things happened that did happen. Like I was reading up reviews because I had seen this movie before, and I remember people saying that the payoff in the end wasn't like. Some people didn't like it, and other people thought it was a nice little twist. And I'm probably on the side of I thought it was a good twist because it's a bank robbery, and it's like you can kind of like I like these type of movies where it's like you think you know where the movie's going, and then there's like a little twist or turn halfway through it, and then there's something else happens, and you're like all the way through you think you know what's happening, and then at the end you're like, oh right, that's not what I expected. And it was good how he just kept saying, "I'm going to walk out the front door," and then they spent that whole Denzel was kind of cottoning on to what he was doing, kind of, because he kept saying like, "Why is he asking for like 2 buses and a plane?" He's like, "No bank robber would ask for like a plane." They would, he says he's clearly just stalling for time because every time he gives her a deadline, and we're past the deadline, he gives her an extra deadline. He's like, it doesn't seem right. He's stalling, so he was stalling because obviously they're building them that room. Did they build them that room while? That's what confused us. Did they build that room beforehand, or they must have done it while
While they were in the middle of that, because they did it.
No way they could have done it before.
Yeah, they were doing it while they were doing the while they were in the bank robbery.
Yeah.
I was confused.
What were they drilling under the floor for again?
Well, I was just about to say I was confused about that bit as well because they made the hole. But if you remember when they looked down the hole, one of the robbers, he says, "Oh, that's a small shithole or something like that."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's basically what it was. It is somewhere for him to go shit because he's going to be locked up in this room.
Oh, okay. No, because I originally thought when I saw the sewage pipe that they're going to cut into a line and they can send everything through there, just like how they did in that other that Netflix show. It's Spanish or Brazilian or something like that. Money Heist is it called? Maybe I think it's
Oh,
called
that
Money
one.
Heist.
That one that's Spanish or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Spanish,
yeah.
but it's
I
great.
think I think
If
it's
you
Money
haven't
Heist.
watched it, you should watch it. I'll tell everyone out there to watch it because it's absolutely incredible. It's such a great story, to really get you roped in. That how much money they get away with, it's really really good.
But the hole in the floor, you only realize that at the end when you see him. He's taking the wall apart. Then it
Yeah.
comes to the point. You say, okay, that's the reason why they dug that hole to get the access to those pipes because it had to be in that area where he walled himself off.
Yeah.
But as soon as you see the hole right away, there's no explanation of it. You don't know
Right.
what it's for.
Mm. Yeah. I liked all the actors in this movie, even Jodie Foster, whose character I didn't really get why she was part of the movie. To be honest, I thought she acting was really good. Sorry.
She's a fixer.
Yeah, but
You know.
I just felt like it wouldn't have mattered if she wasn't in the movie.
Yeah.
It just like
right.
it wouldn't have made any difference to the story they were telling.
Right,
So-
but if she were able to get her hands on the stuff in the vault, you know what I mean? But she knew right away she wasn't gonna. This guy wasn't gonna let her get it.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, like the whole reason he did it was just like at the end he's just like it's just like for respect. I mean I know he did take diamonds, but I believe like he only took the diamonds because he had other people help him, and he probably just gave the diamonds to them.
It was.
think-
Did you see how many diamonds were there? It was 4 bags of diamonds.
Yeah,
You know
but
It
what I
was
mean?
more than that.
do
It
you
was
only
about
took,
6, right?
Yeah, there was
Six
more
of
than
them.
4.
Yeah,
There was a
okay.
lot of diamonds, but I think you're right, Andrew. I think it was doing it. They did it on principle. The
Mhm.
diamonds
Yeah.
was just extra.
I mean the ring was clearly the most expensive thing in the bank, and that's the one thing he left.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I mean, because he didn't really want to take it, he just wanted to prove that he could pull off this amazing bank heist and not get caught. And it's like an intricate plan that he put in place, and he just literally did what he said he was going to do. He walked out the door without anyone noticing. And obviously, when he bumps into Denzel, that's when he like plants the ring on him.
But
Yeah.
meanwhile, if Denzel were were the real cop that would have really investigated everything, and they found a hole in the ground with a bunch of shit in it, they would have ran some DNA, right? Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
But yeah, because he didn't have gloves on when he gave him it. But,
Yeah.
I just like I
Yeah.
liked. I did like the way I liked everybody's acting. I thought Clive Owen was perfect.
Oh yeah.
Denzel's just Denzel. He's just like you said. He's good in anything. Jodie Foster. I like Jodie Foster. I've always liked Jodie Foster. I like probably. I really like her in Panic Room.
Yeah.
And what is it? Flight Plan. The other one that just.
Yeah. Like
Yeah, I just like her, but I just thought to myself, like I don't see the point in that character. I don't think it would affect the movie if she wasn't in it.
Mhm.
But apart from that, I like the movie, and I enjoyed the twists, and yeah, I think everyone else kind of like pointed out all the other key parts of the movie. Willem Dafoe as well.
Yeah.
I always liked him.
Yeah.
He's just like there's so many good actors and actresses in this. Well, I guess just actors. I'm gonna be politically correct. It just like it was really good. I just I don't think I have anything else.
Christopher Plummer was classic in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a classic.
And that's what I'm saying. If there was no Jodie Foster, what would Christopher Plummer have to say? No one would. There was no other bridge between to say, oh, okay, well, you were really a war criminal, and
Yeah.
these are not the diamonds. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, But Clive Owen's character obviously knows that he was. And,
Yes.
Right.
I mean, there could have been
no one
an
can tie it
interaction between the two
to
of
the
them.
bank owner.
Yeah.
No one can tie that to the bank owner. The bank owner's got to be the one to say, I got to get my shit out of there, you know?
Why Clive left his?
Let me pay whatever I got to pay to get it, you know?
Mm. Yeah. And like that was the only deposit box that wasn't like listed as.
Right.
So like pretty much nobody knew.
Mhm.
Probably people who worked there as well didn't even know
Right.
that was there. But yeah, I liked it. It was a good pick, Pen. Anything with Denzel in, like I say, I'll watch it all day, every day.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Hard to go wrong with that. For me, I enjoyed it. I watched it after I watched Bullitt, and I was so happy to see that after I watched Bullitt. Knocking on you, Eddie. Denzel, again, just like everyone says, Denzel, you can't beat him as an actor. He just does a great job. The thing with his hat, he has done that in numerous. Didn't we watch it? We watched another Denzel, wasn't it? Where he did that with his hat, like ran his fingers along the brim of his hat. He's done that numerous times. I thought, like everyone said, I thought the twists and turns of the movie were great. I thought that it had a good. Clive, what's it? Clive Owens. What was it? Clive Owens.
Yeah.
I think him robbing the bank was more, like I said earlier, was the principle that he wanted to get that information. It was on principle that he was robbing him because he wanted him to get caught as a Nazi, a Nazi sympathizer and taking advantage of people. He wanted him caught for that. The diamonds, I felt like, was just an extra bonus for the people that helped him. Plus, he was going to get rich off of it, but it was more to try to stick it to a man that had took advantage of other people. Mm-hmm. So I liked it that it wasn't just robbing just to rob somebody. He was robbing somebody for a purpose. I did like Jodie Foster in this movie, and I thought she was hot in this movie, and I don't always find her hot in movies. Something about her I found very sexy in this movie. Maybe it was the high heel shoes.
I don't know. It's that little smirk she does.
I don't know. There's certain movies that she does it. Some movies but this one I was like, ooh, she's looking good. So
maybe it's because you're married now.
Yeah, I'm like looking at all these other women. I'm like, dang, I could have had that. I could have had that. No. Great movie. I will say there was a couple things that bothered me. Okay, I felt like in even though Spike Lee made this, and I didn't hold it against him because I was like, oh God, Spike Lee. I didn't even know Spike Lee did this movie. And I sometimes Spike Lee just goes off too far. And I watched it and I liked it all except for I didn't understand with the racial stuff that why they put that in there. But it's Spike Lee. But I also felt like they were reverse racial doing reverse discrimination when they were talking about that guy that was a Sikh. And they're like making fun of him. And I'm like, wait a minute. It's okay. It's not okay to be, talking about this black guy and you're giving him a hard time. But then this guy's a Sikh and he says, I need my head turban. And he's like, oh, you'll get that towel in a minute. We'll give you that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I was like, isn't it's kind of wrong. If you're going to be touting and saying we shouldn't be that way. We shouldn't be that way with anybody. Not, oh, it's okay to be like that with him, but not with him. And then when he says, well, I bet you can get a cab, though. I'm like, come on. I mean, that bothered me because I'm thinking, does that need to be in there? If you're trying to make a point, make the point all the way across. Don't have double standards. So that kind of bugged me. But the storyline, awesome. Acting, great. I did see I on Andrew's point about why was Jodie Foster in it, and I think it was a way that to put her name in it, so it was another big actor in it or actress in it. But it did give Plummer a chance to confide in how it happened, his story. I think that he was able to. They were confiding in each other, so I thought that was good. But I thought it was a very well-written movie, acted movie, and I liked how it twisted, that little twisty turn, and he gets away with it, and you want him to get away with it. I thought it was awesome that they planted people in the bank that were actually part of the crime. Brilliant. So you could, and he blindfolds them and pulls them out at different times. Brilliant.
That
If
was
you're
brilliant.
a bank robber.
Yeah, but when they were looking for the one with the big boobs, you know.
Yeah. Well, there was a couple of them, so they were
There
kind
was
of
a couple of them, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And there was nobody to be able to finger and say that she was doing this or she was. It's like you couldn't because they were all blindfolded, so you didn't know what anybody was doing. And he would put them in there, then they take the blindfolds off. You're like, oh yeah, she was in the room with me. So I thought that was good. But I enjoyed it. So Penn, that's all I got.
Yes. For sure. This was definitely a good watch for me, for sure. One of the best storytelling devices that was used in this film was look at the footage of when they was releasing the hostage interviews and how the story, what you saw, like the aftermath, and one in particular was the little kid that was in the film, and it was a scene where he was playing his PSP with I believe Clive Owen, and you saw, you understood from that scene, okay, well, he isn't really like a super bad guy. He does have he is showing his humane side, whatever the case may be, and he even told him and say, hey, like this will be over soon and you'll go home, whatever, and gave him some food, whatever the case may be. So he was doing a very bad thing, but at the same time, he was reassuring of the kid that, hey, like you wouldn't go hurt, you return home to your parents, everything's gonna be fine. And it was one of those things that was interesting. Uh, the film highlighted this cat and mouse relationship between Dalton and Frazier. It was growing as the movie went on. Frazier's primary concern was to keep Dalton calm because think about it. He really didn't know what he was going to pull. He had a sense. He said, "Oh yeah, I got this guy in my back corner." But when they faked the execution, that's when he went off, and then he was serious. He's like, "Yeah, like, well, I didn't kill nobody, like." So you can tell that the emotions was just as strong on both sides, and it was really interesting how he sort of had him like he had him on his toes, throughout the film. I mean, they was talking, they had this thing of, hey, well, let's talk it out. Well, let's see if we can work something out. You can either go out the easy way or the hard way. And truth be told, they both went out unscathed for the most part. It just came down to the master plan, which the ending of it, which is pretty interesting, where Frazier knew that the robbers would need a way out of the place, but he couldn't figure out initially how they were planning. So Russell would tell him, hey, well, just walk right through the front door when he feels like it. He told him this specifically, and that's exactly what happened. The thing is that in the beginning of the film, there was a small cell. It turned out the space was constructed by his team during the heist, and they pretty much planned to stay at the bank for about a week or so until things had died down. So that's why when he mentioned, oh, well, he's just stalling. Well, yeah, so that was a part of the plan. So they had everything planned out from the get-go about this. So I thought the planning of this was well made. Set design was great. Denzel's character, you really felt what he was going through as he was trying to get this thing figured out. And there was also the things where he was talking about his girlfriend, where he was like, the robber was like, yeah, he mentioned something specific about money, and Denzel was like, that's funny coming from a bank robber. He was like, yeah, like if you marry her, do it for the love, don't do it for the money. Denzel was like, well, I'm broke. Yeah, I thought that was like pretty hilarious. That interaction between the two, and of course, when Frazier figures out the existence of the box 392, which had no records of going back to the founding year of the bank, then he realizes that whatever was in the box was the target. So he gets the box open, finds the ring inside with gum and a note that directs him to follow it. And he just kept it going, even though he was told not to. And then he kept the documents with himself to ensure to hold the case over him. And he leaves the ring for Frazier so that even without the documents, he can find out about the case past. And
he said, "Follow the ring."
Yup, follow the ring. Yup. And he also leaves a diamond for him so that he can propose to his girlfriend and eventually get married. So he was. It's weird because he was actually looking out for the guy in the end, even though he was trying to catch him and put him behind bars. That's the crazy part about it. So overall, it was a great watch, and I enjoyed it.
There was another episode when you were talking about, well, if he's been in there for a week, he said he's going to really stink when he gets out.
Yeah.
And when he's walking out of the bank and he bumps into Denzel Washington, in other words, he hits him with the diamond. When he starts to go up the stairs, he passes a girl. She's all dressed in blue. He just passes her, and she turns around and just looks at him. In other words, she must have smelled him.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah. Yeah. So let's see. We got Miss Sharon. How are you doing?
Hello. How's everyone?
Hey.
We're well. We're doing very well.
Hi, Sharon.
Welcome back. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
New Year.
What year is it again?
2021.
We're replaying 2020. We're gonna go ahead and start all over since we did such a poor job last time.
2020.
Oh, wait, is that what's going to be out for next week? 2020?
Yeah, we're gonna do 2020 all over again. Since you guys did such a poor job.
No. Is this Groundhog's Day 2020 all over again? Yeah. So I guess I'm gonna start with Bullitt.
Okay.
Sorry, Eddie. Bullitt was kind of slow for me. I really struggled through Bullitt. It was very slow for me. I mean, I really struggled through that movie. And you know how I am with movies I struggle through. That movie was so hard. Even the opening scenes of when it was coming on, I was like, am I watching Batman? When it was coming on, I was like, it's coming on the way the stuff go off. Even when you see the last part of it going off, and I really struggled, like I said, through that movie. The last part of it going off, and I hear an echo.
No, Charles got turned off his YouTube.
Yeah. Oh, okay, okay.
He had.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. But a lot of this stuff, like I said, it showed a lot of things that they don't show today. Like at the airports, everything was so different. And like you said, the car chase, them guys didn't say nothing to each other. They were just very matter of fact, in the car chase. Steve McQueen, the main star. Like I said, I struggled through the movie. Off and on watching it, I know pretty much, that they, that Steve was mainly a detective, and that they, when they was at the hotel, working in the hotel and everything, and that I liked a lot of. I mean, the movie was a struggle, all I can say. Watching the smoking and drinking, I forgot about back then. They allowed stuff like that, it was like second nature, like in airports and different places like that, different styles of things. And like I said, that's all I'm gonna say about
it. It was a struggle. All right, what'd you think of Inside Man?
Inside Man was pretty good. From the beginning, when they came in, robbed the bank. And at first, you know, the movie was totally different than I with the twist and everything. At first, you know, I'm thinking that, you know, these bad guys coming in robbing the bank. And I thought that was kind of crazy in the beginning. It was almost like he was telling the police officer. Remember when he first was robbing the bank, and the police officer comes to the door and he's like, "We got a situation here or whatever." And he tells that police officer to go away. It's almost like he was telling the police officer, "Call every," you know, almost like he's telling you, "Why don't you call everybody and tell them I'm here robbing the bank?"
Yeah.
And of course, the police officer backs up and he calls for backup and everything. And then the other guy get ready to walk in the bank and he tells the other guy, "Get away, get away." You know, that scene stood out to me. And then, of course, he takes all the hostages and, you know, puts them in different rooms. And the people who tried stuff, you know, he put them in the back room. And the one guy, you know, it looked like they all had on masks, kind of like, it put me in mind of the mask we wear today with all the scarves they have on. And the one guy was like, "I don't care. I'm not wearing this thing. I don't care what nobody says." And he was like, "I'll show you." And they go to pulling him out the room. And he's trying to grab for everything. And they just slung him like he was just a rag doll out the back, you know, out the back room. And he just knocked him out. He just got knocked out. And I, also it did show him, you know, the compassion kind of he had when he was talking to the little boy. You know, there was back and forth with what was happening now, the robbery versus what happened after the robbery when it was interviewing the people. There was going back and forth in the movie with that. So, and I like the compassion they showed when he was talking to the little boy when they was in the room and he had the little boy's phone and the little boy was playing something that looked like Grand Theft Auto or whatever.
Yeah.
And, you know, he was telling the little boy, you know, everything was going to be okay, you know, reassuring the little boy. The little boy was like, "Yeah, that's what's up," you know. Like the little boy didn't have no fear, you know. The little boy was just as calm as could be, you know. And when Jodie Foster's character came, I don't know why, for some reason, I kind of thought she had something to do with it. Far as I didn't think that she had anything working with the owner of the bank, but I thought she had something to do with the main guy originally. I thought it was kind of a setup. Like I originally kind of didn't trust her. Like I thought that she originally, like when Denzel was sitting in there, like it was a setup. Like even though the guy looked like he clearly had a girlfriend, I thought that, you know, that was just a front. I thought that he was doing, you know, having something with Jodie Foster, even though they really didn't have anything going on. Okay. And then, you know, and then of course the fake execution, you know, with the blood with the shirt and everything. And I also like I said, it was brilliant, you know, when he came in there and then you know, of course, like you said, everybody says, you know, he told him he was gonna walk out the bank and stuff, and that was you know, of course, and he didn't believe him. And then after they and then the way they got all the people out the bank, you know, I was thinking that, wow, you know, all them people, you know, how they had them on the ground, they all busted them all to the police station. You know, that was a thing in itself, how they rounded all them people up and had them. And then the guy, the security guard, was like, "I told you I didn't do it. I told you I didn't do it. I'm just a security guard," you know. And they roped them all in there. And, you know, and then that's when, you know, when they did the interview thing. And then when he finally thought that he had kind of solved the case originally. And they, you know, when I knew that they weren't, I felt like they weren't going to really after the money when they was in that room where they went to the security boxes and I saw them pull out them bags. I felt like those were diamonds in there. But you remember the first time he didn't take any diamonds out of there. He just took that envelope that was on top of it and they closed it back up and like it was no big deal. And I was like, "Oh, they're coming back after them diamonds." I think that's the main thing they're there for. They don't want to let them know they're coming to get them diamonds. And that's what I thought the main thing they were robbing that bank for. I was like, they may take some money. I wasn't sure whether they were really rob the money, steal the money or not. But I felt like that was the main thing they were robbing that bank for. They may not robbed it right there with the hostages. And I also even though I had never saw the movie before, I was like, how in the world are they going to try to take them hostages? I said, I knew they were going to do, I felt like they were going to do something with the hostages, but I felt like they definitely were going to try to take the hostages with them. And sure enough, of course, it was about the diamonds. I felt like it was always about the diamonds. Once I saw him take the envelope out of there and just close it back like it was no big deal. Then, of course, like you said, with the twist, when they got the ring and the guy was like, well, you got the ring, and the guy asked him, how much do you think this ring is worth? And he was like, if you have to ask, then, obviously it's worth too much money, if you have to ask. And then he went to, then after that, that's when he went to Jodie Foster, and then, of course, he gave her the pen, and she was like, she told him that, it's already done or whatever. Then he went straight to the guy who owned the bank, and basically read him his rights, and he told him about that. He was like, "Is your foot okay?" His partner asked him, and then the end about, and right before the end, when he passed the guy in the bank, when the guy walked out the bank and bumped him, and of course that was on purpose. He purposely wanted him to know, "Hey, I'm walking out this bank."
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my read. And then, in the end, him having the diamond in his pocket and realizing the guys. Yeah, I thought it was a good watch.
Good. All right, hold on. I'm going to jump over here to Roger and get Charles too. Roger, thanks for joining. Hope you had a good New Year.
I did. I hope you guys did too. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, this week's movie picks were pretty much the yin and yang of movies.
Who's the yin and who's the yang?
Well, let's just start out with Bullitt, I guess. In the chat, in the Telegram chat, Andrew had posted that he only had time to watch one movie, and it took everything in my power not to tell him to just watch Inside Man if he only had time to watch one movie this week. But I didn't do that. I refrained. Bullitt was, to borrow a word from Sharon. Would you say, Sharon? It was rough. It was hard for you.
It was a struggle.
It was a struggle. Yes, it was a struggle.
Real.
I'm not a jazz fan.
Yeah, the struggle was real.
So the soundtrack was just off-putting to me every time that disjointed group of random freaking notes came on the scene. It was just distracting. And also, whoever the sound mixer was, anytime there was a noise like the EKG machine or a telephone or the sirens or somebody walking down a hallway, anything that could be loud was freaking loud in this movie. So the script was bad. Most of the acting bad. Most of it. If you had less than 4 lines in this movie, you could not act at all. They found those guys the day of filming for those shots. I am convinced. So yeah, I'm not a fan. I remember watching this movie in the early '80s and not liking it, and I had not watched it again until Eddie made me do it. So thanks a lot, Eddie. Now, however, Inside Man, somehow I missed that one. I had never seen this movie
How
before,
did you miss that one too? I don't get it.
I don't know how I missed it, but boy, was it a good movie. I have to agree with Dabs. Jodie Foster, sexy AF in this movie. She was just probably one of the better looking movies for Jodie Foster, really. I don't know that I've seen her look better in a movie. The acting was all great. The story was great. The one thing that I didn't like, why did they have to make Denzel be a bad cop at the very end by taking the diamond? There's no point in
That's what I said.
in making him, in redeeming him. They found the $140K that he was accused of. So why make him break bad at the very end of the movie? Other than that, I don't have much bad to say about it. I thought it was a great movie. The music wasn't distracting. It helped. So yeah, good job, Penn. Enjoyed it. Eddie, we're not friends no more.
Okay.
All right, I'm done, Charles. On to you,
All right.
buddy.
What you got, Charles? Get to unmute yourself.
Unmute.
There you go.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. No echo.
All right.
Good. Perfect.
So yeah, my first time here. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming.
I didn't
All
watch
right.
Bullitt, but Bullitt was one of my favorite movies, and I guess I'm telling my age now.
I got a friend.
And the reason Bullitt was good was me and my boys watched that. I was a Mopar man. They were Ford men, and this is a race of Ford and Mopar. And ain't no Mustang or honoring no damn Charger in the first place. It ain't gonna happen. And back in the 60s, that's the kind of music they had. They had to give you that tension. They had, of course, they didn't have electronics and computers and whatever. So they used what they had. And we loved it when it came on because that's what we had. But now you got to compare it with what's available now. And it doesn't hold up. But the chase scene, if anybody ever notices, he never hits the brakes. And that's one of the big things about it. You don't see his brake lights when he goes around the curves. He maintains the speed. Now, you might see that Volkswagen about 9 times.
There you go. There you go.
You see that Volkswagen about 9 times, but the whole chase was it. And my boy was like, he was like Superman. He was so popular back then that he could make any kind of movie. I mean, he was in the movies where he was escaping from prison, riding a motorcycle, jumping over the fences. Mm-hmm. So he was a man, and that he was a drive in the movie. Mm-hmm. Now, the other movie was very good, and you guys got to look at Spike Lee as Spike tries to be a Renaissance man. He wants to let's make it look like movies in the 20s and the 30s, and that's why the police were still gangsters, and that's why Denzel was kind of a gangster, and that's why Denzel kept not Denzel but Spike kept putting that circular view. You know how the camera would go around and around and around to give you that tension, and I think they both were trying to stick it to the man. That's why he kept that diamond, because he was like, okay, this man was a Nazi criminal. You know, they already accused me of being a criminal. I'm going to get something out of it. And that's why he kept that diamond.
Mm-hmm. But I think my problem with it is, because imagine, let's say the FBI would have gotten into it and they would have said, okay, well, you know, we're going to go back in, we're going to find all these diamonds. And you know what? We found the whole crew. We found this. We found that. But there's one diamond missing. You know what I mean? And then they find that Clive Owen says, "Yeah, I gave it to Denzel." You know?
Well, do you really think that a Nazi criminal would have had a record of each individual diamond that he had 30, 40 years? They wouldn't have never found any of them. That big one that he turned in to get it, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And Jody,
and for me, one of the things that I thought for me was when they said they found that 140K. Yeah. To me, I felt like that was Jodie Foster. Put that money in there it was found, and that's how he was able to progress to become Detective One or what. Okay. So to me, that was Jodie Foster's character going, "I'm taking care of you." So
you think he took the money? You think he took the money?
I'm not that necessarily he took the money. Just money disappeared, but there was no question of where the money went. Nobody knew. But all of a sudden now it appeared. So then that case was closed. So he was clear. To me, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
he did say that you fast tracked him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he did get promoted, but it goes along with that kind of gangster kind of area where the cops are just as bad as the criminals, and that's why Homeboy kept the diamond. And hey, Denzel's the
man. He's good. So all right, so we got that. I'm gonna go ahead and ask people on the side chat. Bullitt. So for the people that watch Bullitt, you guys post Bullitt and then Man or Inside Man, and then tell me play or pass for each one of those. Alban, are you going to put that in the?
Yeah, I forgot completely about it, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you guys only have a few jobs. You only got a few jobs here, and I
know, but
Andrew, I thought you were crooning him. You were crooning him along.
Well, I mean, he was all in control of it. as far as I knew, so I'll let him go.
So, all right, and see, Charles, we have a Telegram group for this for this show, and people can vote. So you can vote in there. So we'll invite you to that. So, so people in the side chat, you guys over here, go ahead and tell us play or pass for Bullitt and for Inside Man, and then we'll roll through while you guys are posting that. I'll start with Charles at the bottom. And Charles, for both of the movies, what play or pass for each of the movies? What you think?
Especially play for Inside Man. And for Bullitt, I would say for nostalgia, I was like, well, yeah, if you want to see how it was back in the day, yeah, watch it. It may be slow, but it was the movie back then. It was like Steve McQueen and the car race. That was it. So
okay,
I'd say play for both of them.
All right, that's cool. That's cool. Roger.
I'm going to be a pass on Bullitt and a play definitely on Inside Man.
Okay. Look at Octavia says she owns Inside Man, so she must have that as a play. Penn.
Yeah, I would do a pass on Bullitt and definitely play on Inside Man.
Okay. All right. Alban.
Oh, I'm sorry. Pass on Bullitt, play on Inside Man.
Okay. Miss Sharon.
A pass on Bullitt and a play on Inside Man.
Okay. Andrew.
Oh, Eddie, I'm sorry. I'm same as I'm the same as everybody else. What I will say about Bullitt, though, I think it's just one of those ones that over time it's just became dated because of the technology and stuff that they've got these days to make movies. However, it's probably one of those movies that like a filmmaker, like someone who was doing like a movie course or like a student would look back on, because it's a good example of using all the resources you've got at that time and making a good film just like what you've got. Like there's no like technology, there's no CGI, there's no like special effects and stuff like that. It's just raw filmmaking, and that's why the car scene is still talked about now. The car chase is like it set the standard for future films and stuff like that. So it's got good points to it, but yeah, it didn't have the best story to start with, and it's just a little bit dated now.
Okay.
Try to make it sound better than what it was.
All right.
So,
What about so Inside Man? Was that a play or a pass on that?
yeah, that was a play. Yeah, it was a play for that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I just wanted to make sure I'm writing it down here. Let's see, Eddie, for your both movies. What was your vote?
For Bullitt, since it was a typical time of the day movie, like Charles said, I'll say it's a play, and for Inside Man, it's a play too.
Okay, so we got that. For me, I'll give Inside Man a play, and sorry, I cannot do Bullitt. I'm sorry. Other than if you want to look at what it was like back in the early 70s, late 60s, you want to see how people lived. I guess nostalgia, you can be like, oh yeah, they had phones that did that. And yeah, I would say that. So we got that going on. And I was looking through the chat over here. So on the people on the side, we have one for the audience that has a play for Bullitt, and two from the audience here for Inside Man. So definitely some good movies there. We're going to see what people think. So we got that. And then we got next week. And so for next week, since Cam is not here, I think it's Alban and me. Hold on a second, if I'm not mistaken, because
so which Matthew McConaughey movie are we watching next week?
Hey, I actually have some that it is on the thing, but I'm not going to go with that one. I'll pick mine first, Alban, before you pick yours.
Okay.
I'm going to go with something. Okay, you give you some. I'm going to go with something current. I'm going to go with something that I think that we can all talk about, and that's going to be Wonder Woman 84, 94. What is it?
84.
84. Wonder Woman 84, which is the newest Wonder Woman movie. I think that it's new. We've all seen it or have the opportunity to see it, and I think it can lend itself to some good conversation for next week. So, not
What's
that
it called,
I
sorry?
had that on my list. Wonder
Wonder
Woman
Woman
84.
1984.
Yeah,
Just
1984.
84. Yeah, it is
Ah,
1984.
That was a good year.
Yeah. Is that was your year you
Was
born?
that your year?
That's the year I was born. Yeah.
Wow. Jeez.
Yeah. So I just
Yeah,
think that
Ghostbuster.
for me, I think it's, and I'm not saying that it was that I'll even say up front, I'm not a fan of the movie, but I want to watch it again. But I think that it would lend itself to a very good conversation. And hopefully Blue's feeling better next week so she can give us her insights since she is a superhero sci-fi fan. She'll be able to give us her thoughts on that. Alban, have you come up with one?
I think so. I could do the original Wonder Woman movie because it's funny because I just watched it because I figured let me watch that before I watched the other Wonder Woman. So I'm glad that you picked it.
Okay.
This way I do still have to watch it. But I watched the original Wonder Woman movie. In case no one knows, it was with Kathy Lee Crosby was Wonder Woman. If
You're
you
talking
didn't know.
about like the old one. I thought
The
you were talking
old
about
one, right?
Oh.
The real Wonder Woman, just for a kick. But we won't watch that. I want to put in the movie The Last Full Measure.
I think I've seen that.
I told you
That's
to watch it at
is
one
that a
point.
war movie?
It's a war movie,
No.
yeah.
2019.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and share my screen so you guys can see what the Last Full Measure. So you guys can see that. This is the correct one.
Yeah, that's the right movie. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think
Who was
we
in
talked about this and I never watched it.
Yeah, that's why I figured let me
I
put it
think
in.
that is one I've looked at and thought about watching, but never have.
It's I guess it's like Child 44. Enjoy it.
Right, so, right,
Did you say like
I'll
Channel
right now.
44?
It's a pass from me.
Uh-oh.
Look at
Uh-oh.
we do have look at there's a Christopher Plummer's in both of these.
Yeah.
He was in not both a movie we just saw this week, and then he's in that one we just saw Christopher Plummer in a movie, and he's in. You know how sometimes there's a connection sometimes between the movies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
also, Todd, I had a theory about why Denzel kept that ring at the end. He was like, he's the same cop as what he is in Training Day. It was just like the beginning of becoming corrupt.
Yeah.
Okay. Which led to the Training Day movie.
Yeah.
He's so good in that movie as well.
Well, maybe he wanted to get his woman a good ring. I mean,
he definitely did that.
She waited around for him. I mean, she was waiting in that bed it seemed like for days, and
waited the whole movie for him.
Yeah.
He would be stupid to give her it. He should have just hocked it, sold it, and then bought a house and got a cheaper ring. Or bought an island.
I guess you're right about that.
Yep.
So, all right. So we got 2 movies this week. We got Wonder Woman and Full Measure. You said full. What was it?
The Full Measure. The Last Full Measure.
Last Full Measure. Okay. So we got that, and that was Alban.
Yeah.
All right. So we got those. Charles, did you see the comment from, I think it was Red? Because I can't say his full name because I get in trouble with YouTube.
He said about the wedding pictures. I just saw that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, because I actually showed the wedding photos on the last Streaming Matters. I told everybody that I'd wait till the last after the whole show was over because I didn't want to bore people with a wedding crap.
I got a thing to say to you, Charles. How did it feel being such a giant there at the wedding?
Hey, look, did he tell you about the minister?
Yes, I saw him, and he's just like, I'm watching it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, they're taller than I always thought they were. You know,
Todd was taller than the minister. Todd looked tall.
I know.
And he had no lift. Todd, you tell him he had no lift?
No.
Yeah, he did. I saw that.
I'm sorry. I guess I wasn't supposed to say he had no lift.
No, you didn't have to. I saw it. I saw it.
Yeah, and I mean, because Shannon's 5'2", and yeah, Charles was the biggest person in the whole place.
Yeah,
but hey,
but when you were standing outside on the steps, Charles was on the.
We put him way down there.
on the ground. That's why I was like, did someone, was on the floor? Did they leave the camera on the floor to take a picture?
Yeah, there was another guy in the audience that took the picture. So,
okay.
But yeah, I'm not that tall, but they're just short.
Yeah, it was a good day, and like you said, if you guys didn't watch, if you didn't watch Midstream Matters show, if you want to go all the way to the end, I want to say it's in the last 15-20 minutes of the show. We go through all the photos to show.
Yeah, but you didn't take any videos.
We did take videos. We had video that we were broadcasting live to her family, and then a few people and the sound wasn't great because the phone was farther away than I wanted.
Okay.
So it's hard to hear. So Mike, one of my buddy, he had his GoPro there, and the sound on the GoPro is good, and it's at a different angle. And Blue is going to go through and do a little bit of editing to try to put the two together, and then we'll see if we release it to anybody. Because I mean, we just didn't want to put it out there for everybody, so we invited certain, and it wasn't like we were picking and choosing, but it was like we didn't want it to be out there. Huh?
Hope she doesn't edit out the dancing.
Yeah, hey, we did. I did.
I pissed myself laughing when you came up to the screen. You were like, "Oh man, he's on something fine."
So yeah, they saw the picture of you dancing.
Yeah. I showed off.
Like doing his Ric Flair impression.
Yeah.
Yeah. For the people that didn't watch it, at the end. If you Petey Pablo, Rise Up or Raise Up is a song, and the background story to that was I was at a wedding for one of my family members, and I was having moonshine, and I had a lot of it. And the family, we had talked about this song coming on, and my uncle was coming down. He was from Michigan. He was coming down. He says, I heard about this song about Raise Up. And he's like, take your shirt off. It's like North Carolina song. And I said, well, if we play that song, you got to take your shirt off. We got to dance. And my uncle was like, yeah. Well, that sounds like a great plan. So I got the DJ to play it, and it's late into the evening, and I am feeling good. The DJ plays it, looks at me, to get out on the dance floor. Well, I got on the dance floor, and I took my shirt off, and I'm swinging it, and my daughter videotapes this and puts it on Facebook. And my uncle, yes, you've seen that. So that's why I did it, because Blue has seen that video, and she cracks up every time. She goes, "That is the funniest video I've ever seen." And because I'm doing like this, and I'm feeling good. So I didn't tell her. Told everybody else that was at the wedding that I was going to play that song, and that we were going to do swinging the shirts. Now I didn't take my shirt off at my own wedding because I felt like I had to get pictures taken. So yeah, took the shirt off, or had the shirt and swinging it around, and Blue didn't know that was going to happen, and Charles took pictures of her, and she is just cracking up. I mean, she was laughing, and I got her to dance a little bit there at the end. She danced a little bit.
She wasn't the only one laughing. She wasn't the only one laughing.
Yeah. Can I ask you a question? What did you do with the shoes?
The shoes?
Yeah.
What shoes?
Well, remember you bent down, you had to tie up your shoes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, at my age, I can't afford to fall and break a hip. I was like, I had to get them, make sure them laces. I saw that. I wasn't. Now, if I was drunk, I probably would have just kept on. But it was a good time, though. That was fun. It was fun, and I wanted the wedding to be not
simple.
I wanted, simple, but I wanted it to be something that she would remember, and that's why I wanted everything to be nice, and the dance, her and me dancing together, just nice and calm. But then I wanted to throw a little something at the end, just a little. Yeah, that's Todd right there for you. He going to get you in the end.
Thought you were going to do the worm,
No, I tried that. We all know how that plays out. We all know. We have all seen that, and we all know that Dabs is not quite worm material anymore. Charles can attest to the noise when I try to do the worm. So, all right. So we got those going on. Thanks for everyone joining the show. We're actually out early.
Hey, can I ask you another question?
Yeah.
Do we have to take a movie that goes in the theater, or can we take a movie that's made for TV?
You take one made for TV.
Yeah, because we did documentary. We've done like that backup singer. That wasn't ever at the movies, was it?
Yeah, it was actually.
Yes, it was.
Okay.
Yeah, we could do a made for TV movie. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I do want to say, thanks to Eddie. Wasn't it you that picked that movie? Was it the one with the backup singers?
No, that was
the music.
Alban? All right, I will say this. What was her name? The main lady.
Darlene Love.
Darlene Love. So we actually saw her in something else recent.
Oh,
Darlene Love was actually in something. And Blue's not here to
Christmas
tell.
movie. It has to be.
Yeah. It was the one with the Claus or the Christopher.
The Santa Claus.
She's in that singing.
Yeah.
And I looked at her. I said, "That's that woman from the show the movie we watched."
She was in that movie that Kurt Russell and his and his
wife.
And his wife was in together because I saw it.
Christmas Chronicles.
She towards the end in that movie.
Yeah, Christmas Chronicles. Right.
Christmas Chronicles. Yeah.
I would have never knew who she
Christmas
was.
Chronicles 2. Yes. I thought I recognized her when I was watching it with the kids.
I would have never known that if we wouldn't have watched that. And I do list. She's been in a couple other things that I've seen her.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, I've seen her.
She's been around.
And I starting to listen to background singers more because of that movie. Darlene Love. Yeah, so she's getting out there.
I've got a question as well. Also, before we go, I've got a question. Who's after you and Oberyn? Who's after?
Gotta be you.
Cam was at 4, but whenever she comes on, she can pick.
I think I got 4 as well, or maybe
Cam if she comes on.
Hold on. Oh, I got it. Oh, hold on. All right. So this is what she's got. So Cam has 4. Roger now has 4. DJ is 2. Sharon now has 2. Penn has 1 because he was here. Eddie's got 1 because this was Eddie and Penn. So they were at the end. So Sharon's got 2.
Yeah, Charles is 1.
Charles is 1. Roger, you be at 4 after today. So Roger will be next week.
So Roger and Cam if she comes on.
If she comes on, and if not, then it'll be you, Andrew.
Oh, great.
To the death, Andrew. To the death.
I'm not going up against you, Roger. I'm not going up against you.
So Andrew saying,
I just pick one of the casual, crappy movies when it's anybody else, but when it's Todd, that's when I try to bring out the big stuff.
Yeah, bring out the big guns.
The only time I care.
It's all fun. Hey, but great week. I hope everyone had a great New Year. Thanks for you guys jumping back on here for our show. We had a little hiatus. Now it's back to it. Friday. I'm not sure who's going to be on Friday for Streaming Matters, but I know the following Friday I'm going to have Tyler the Antenna Man's going to be back on.
Oh, great.
So I'm going to try to have maybe I can get somebody else to jump in there. Get something else going on with the antenna. But this Friday, we're not sure who's going to show up yet. So, all right. I will talk to you guys later. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for the people on the side. And watch Wonder Woman 84 and Last Full Measure. And we'll see you on the next one.